just perfect. She's truly perfect. And that is gone. That's a great backhanded effort. Save Butler slides into home.
Milk tears, I did this for you. Spilling
Softball SA action live from Westby in South Australia.
Tonight's game brought to you by Space Queen's Content Softball SA. We've got at the top of the table clash is the Sturt Falcons versus the West Torrens Eagles. Joining me, James Harris with the commentary position is Mark Cramp and the Softball SA Live member himself, Lee Hull, bringing all the statewide super comments. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, James and Mark. Nice to see you on board again, and we're looking for a cracker here.
Yes, hello guys. Very excited. My first game for the season, and it's just about to get underway with Jordan Lambert leading off this West Torrens side.
High pitch for ball one, and Zali Adams it is pitching for the Sturt Falcons. Guys, we've got so much to talk about tonight. We'll talk about key players and the matchups, some recent results and the record so far this season for both teams. As I said at the top of the show, both teams undefeated. How about this for a stat? West Torrens have yet to give up a run. 5 games, 3 wins and 2 draws, believe it or not, 2 0-all draws. I expect it to be a tight clash tonight.
Well, you look at the other hand, and Sturt, 4 games and have only given up 3 runs. So 19-4 though, that's the difference. They got an extra 10 runs for against the West Torrens in 4 games, Lee, so their batting power is there as Jordan Lambert puts that out to left field.
Great piece of the ball, and she'll lead off the game with a single.
And followed that one right around and just, there must have been a change up or something, Lee, there, because she sort of held a line and just punched it over into that safe zone.
That's right. She just held her hands back a little, Geordie, and now she becomes a real threat on base.
Well, this is where she comes into her element. Quite quick, very, very quick. She'll be looking to make a move.
Faith Picard's the batter, and she's probably one of the better number 2s in the competition with Jordan Lambert with the wheels. She can put the ball on the deck, she can cover up Jordan for a stolen base, or she can smash the ball to the fence.
Very consistent, Faith.
Hit and run, Jessie Keach picks it up on one bounce. Lambert turns second safely as the helmet comes off and the first out is made. Jessie Keach with a good play.
Well, that play was on. You see Coach Scott out there dancing around and throwing a few signals, and straight from the pitch, Jordan Lambert was gone, and Faith Picard did the job and put the ball exactly where she needed to do it and advance the runner.
Yeah, now it's Lana Casely. She's come down from the country. Came down with Zali Adams. That would have been an interesting conversation.
You've just pinched my thunder there, Lee. I was MC Thunder, maybe. We'll come to the MC Thunder in a moment with the fully loaded softball going to start tomorrow. In that, what a story that is. Zali Adams, the pitcher, Lana Casler, the batter. They shared a lift tonight. This ball is popped up right side and in foul territory. Yep, some confusion reigned there as second base Rachel Tonkin and right fielder Ada Caruana met with...
Well, Pippa Atkins had her eye on that the whole way, and I think she sort of gave it up a little bit for Rachel Tonkin coming across. But that's one that's been let loose, and let's see how Lana Casler... Look, she's looking the goods today, Lana Casler, and she's in there. She's aggressive. She's got the first run of the game, standing at second base. She'll be looking to put the ball deep.
Well, you made a big point about how many runs Sturt have got 4 compared with West Torrens. West Torrens' batting has looked a bit proppy all season so far. Unable to make those big scores. Well, they're only missing one player from that lineup, and that's Carly Allen, who's not playing this season. So they need to get their batting going together, especially against a side like Sturt, who have been really impressive.
Kaiser gets a piece of this one, fouling it off. Guys, you've been speaking runs for and against. The 3 runs against for Sturt Falcons came in 1 inning, and that was against Walkerville when, well, it surprised me, perhaps the whole competition, a 5-3 win against last year's premiers, back-to-back premiers, Walkerville Cats, and those 3 came in 1 inning. Low for a ball and a walk. for Kayser, so she wins this battle. Something to talk about on the ride home with the Adams family. Thanks to Justin and Justina for giving Lana a lift.
I tell you, I've really enjoyed watching Zali over the last 12 months. She's really come of age, developing into a very, very good pitcher, and she's going to do the job for Sturt out there quite comfortably this season if the team gets behind her and they bat the way that they are.
Well, she was terrific against the Premiers Walkerville last time they met, and it's probably as good as I've seen Zali pitch this season, but she's pitching very consistently. So all you can ask.
Obviously a talent if you throw an A grade, but hasn't she stepped it up this year? Just come of age. I believe she went for her P's today. We'll sit and wait to see if she achieved that milestone in her life, but here she is. She'll head up the SA Under-18 Women's, and they'll head over to New South Wales, Blacktown for National Championships in January. She's up against Sophie Hoyle, and she's got herself into a good hitting count. Sophie Hoyle, 3 balls and no strikes. Last night they played a game, a make-up game from the rain out over the weekend, and Sophie Hoyle got a walk in that game against Zoe Connolly, and there wasn't much more action in the game for the Eagles, and she achieves another walk, loading the bases for Kelsey Nucky. So timeout called from catcher Sarah Tonkin. Might give us an opportunity to go around the diamond. Thanks, Lee.
Yes, certainly, James, thank you. For Sturt, we've named the battery. It's Zali to Sarah. First base, Pippa Atkins. Second base, Rachel Tonkin. Third base, the little dynamo in Jessie Keach. Belle White's at shortstop, enough said about her. And the outfield left to right, Jordan Lee, Maddie Cameron and Ada Caruana.
Well, Kelsey Nucky, the hitter, she's got the job in front of her here to score these runs.
Well, I watched the first game on TV, Space Quake Sports. Kelsey Nucky hit a stand-up double, I think it was, her first turn at bat for the season.
It's usually in the early part of the game when Kelsey gets a cracker.
High for a ball and evens up the count at 1-1.
Lee, 2 base on balls. So would you be just settling yourself in the box or looking for that one to hit?
I'd just be making her throw some more pitches.
Nucky gets a ball straight back to the pitcher. Double play! Great action here from the Sturt Falcons. Good defensive play from the pitcher, Zali Adams. Let's watch the statewide super replay.
Well, she swings at this, James, but she doesn't get everything of it. You watch it as it comes through. She gets around nice and early, but it hits the bottom of the bat. Zali Adams has no hesitation in throwing it down, and Pippa Atkins with a nice stretch taking the throw from Sarah Tonkin. Double play, nice way to finish out the innings.
It certainly was, and that was the way to get out of a tight spot, wasn't it? That's as good as... I've seen a fair bit of West Torrens lately. I saw the game last night, 0-0. Nobody looked like scoring between Glenelg and West Torrens. So that's promising signs for the Eagles here.
That was very good hand movement, quick, fast movement from Sarah Tonkins. Watch her here as she quickly picks it and pivots. James, you as a catcher would probably appreciate a move like that.
Terrific transition from Sarah Tonkin, a Stars representative, 9 years of state representation. So she's got plenty of experience, under-19 national championship under the belt, and you couldn't ask for a better play from your catcher.
That's right.
Well, guys, we never got a chance at the top of the show to go through a bit of a game preview. If we look at the notes, guys, we can see that both teams are undefeated, yet to concede a run, the West Torrens Eagles, in 5 starts, and that is because of this lady here, Steph Trzynski. She has been dominant all year. Actually, I don't even think a run has got past second. We've been known for our commentator's curse, so expect that to change tonight.
Some of us.
Sturt Falcons also undefeated. 4 wins from 4 starts. Maddie Cameron, Belle White, Sarah Tonkin, there's that name again, have been firing for the Falcons and led by young Zali Adams. So guys, what were your thoughts for this game? Any tips or what stood out for you so far from these 2 teams?
Oh well, I think it's a pitcher versus batter duel for me tonight. I mean, Steph Drzezinski, like you just pointed out, has been playing amazingly. She's got her fitness back. She had a bit of time off last year. She's come back slow at the end of the year. She's come up firing this time, but she's coming against a very, very good Sturt batting lineup. Maddie Cameron, Belle White, Pippa Atkins, Ada Caruana. They won't be shy to swing the bat, and I think this is going to be a great duel.
I think it's going to be a 3-2 win to the Eagles tonight. Just my gut feeling. While we're talking about the Eagles, James, would you like me to go around the diamond for them?
All good, Lee. Let's hear it.
All right, on the lines, it's Kelsey Nucky at first. Lana Kaiser is third. In the holes in the shortstop and second base positions, it's Jordan Lambert at shortstop, Sophie Hall at second, and the outfield defending the grass that's been mown, Melissa DeGrief. Let's hope she doesn't come to DeGrief. And it's Alicia marching at centre field and Jackie Bill at right.
Oh, I love it. Love it. The freshly mowed green grass, and they're out there. And here we go. Steph Drzezinski's just looking for her pitch. Feeling comfortable now. It's Ada Caruana looking to swing that. And she lets that through, and Damien McCauley calls that one first, so that's a good start for Steph Drzezinski.
Yep.
It was a bit low, but they call them. It came through nice and low, maybe kicked up in the end there, but Caruana not comfortable. Maybe just an opportunity to have a bit of a look.
Well, I think personally I've seen a fair bit of Steph this year, and over the years I think personally that's her go-to pitch. Get 2 strikes and the batter strikes a lot of people out with that low pitch. I may be proven wrong in this game tonight, but we'll see.
Well, if we get the camera at some angle at some stage tonight when she's pitching from centre field, you will see that she likes to hit the outside corner a lot, Steph. She's got very good control, especially when there's and she has a crack at that one. Ada Caruana just fouls that out. The right-hand batter, Steph likes to take that low dropper on that corner that I've noticed. Whether or not I'm right, but let's have a bit of an eye on that, keep an eye on that tonight.
A couple of dangerous batters, these left-handed girls. Ada, you've mentioned, and Pippa Atkins, and both of them, you don't throw the ball outside. They'll just belt the ball long. You got to cram them up, jam them up.
Brinkentree fouls this one off and stays in the count. Guys, I know we get to social media when we can in the inning breaks, of course, but I just want to make a special mention to someone who's watching from Japan. Best of luck, Jalen Ford, in your playoffs for this season, and we very much look forward to you joining the Stars team later on in this year for Nationals next year. As Faith Picard calls timeout, just wants to have a bit of a chat with Steph. They're way ahead of the count here, so they don't have to throw anything near the zone for a few pitches at least anyway.
Only way to get people like Ada and Pepper is to crowd them up, make them hit the ball to the infield on the right-hand side.
Well, top spot is up for grabs, but breathing down the neck of these two teams, the back-to-back premiers, the Walkerville Cats, sitting on 7 points. They're playing the other game tonight against the Hills Heat, and they're leading after 3 innings, 2 runs to 1. We'll try to bring you more updates as the game progresses.
That was a bit of a throwaway pitch there, I think. Excuse me, a bit of a throwaway pitch there, I think, James. Ada's not going to get, caught chasing that one. A little bit high, kicked up, got away from Faith Picard, but...
Well, as I said, you can afford to throw a couple around the zone here. Ada, good enough player to leave that one alone and to foul this one off and leave it as it is.
Yeah, a little bit closer to the zone, but again, it just kicked up and she fouled it off. Did well, staying very composed. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a very good game if this weather stays away.
Caruana just goes up the grip just a little as she moves half a step in and pulls this one to second base. It stays low, and Sophie Hoyle did a great job to stop it, but Caruana with the speed legs it out and a lead-off single to start the ball game.
Well, it crammed her up a little bit, but it just was enough to get off glove side for Sophie and couldn't run Ada out because she's lightning quick.
Well, you called it perfectly, James. She just choked up on that bat just a little bit more. Just gave her that little bit more of an advantage to pull the bat around quicker, and she got it around a second. So fantastic.
Give herself every opportunity to score. So Sarah Tonkin lays down what you would call a textbook bunt as she advances Ada Caruana to second base. So head coach Morgan Young wasting no time. Let's apply the pressure straight away. Let's get the runner to second for the big dog herself here. Maddie Cameron up to bat, and look who's waiting right behind her in the on-deck circle, Belinda White.
Well, perfectly executed bunt from Sarah, wasn't it? Got around early. That's part of the secret. Get the ball into play.
100% Lee, you're on the money there, because you've got Maddie Cameron, who's on fire at the moment. You've got Belle White standing right behind her. Smart play by Coach Young, because you're not going to intentionally walk one of these two, are you? Because you're going to end up loading the bases. So he's got a runner at scoring position with two of the best hitters in the state, up to bat.
Well, he wants to be the first coach to get a run at a third as well against the West Torrens Eagles for this season. As Cameron has a slash at that one, and just off of it, underneath it, and fouling it off. It was a big cut and a big swing. Looked like the timing was around about right, but just got under it there.
Powerful swing, going long too. Good looking swing, James. Plenty of power. Maddie Cameron's built for this game. Very athletic, and we'll be looking for a long ball here.
Fouls this one off as well. So behind in the count, but both of her strikes have come off foul ball. So timing's going all right here against Steph Trzynski, who's coming in the high 90s at the moment, so hasn't ticked over the 100K mark yet, which says to me she's got a little bit left in the tank.
I think she's settling in. We're looking at the third batter.
Big gap at right centre there for my liking. Too big a gap.
Fouls this off to stay in the count, and looks like a bit of a plan as well, just going outside, peppering the outside edge, trying to get Cameron maybe to pull an outside pitch and get a little dribbler rather than a high, long ball.
She might be looking for that 100K pitch now, set her up with some 90s, and then just throw one down.
Change of pace, and 81 Ks. Maddie Cameron good enough to foul this one off, so staying in there.
Well, I couldn't have been further away from that, Lee. I thought it was going to be 100. Coming in 81. Lucky I'm not out there batting.
Oh, I think you would have clouded it somewhere, mate. Probably back here.
It's about my speed these days, 81.
Pulls this one hard, but foul, and Coach Young would need a glove to field that one. It came off real hard from the bat of Cameron. She looks dialed in, doesn't she?
Oh, mate, that was 95 Ks an hour, and she was 3 Ks ahead of it. Pulled it quite comfortably, didn't she, Lee?
Yes, she certainly did, but I'm telling you, I'm warning you, if she gets on the first and the runners at first and second, I'm walking Belle White.
Great pitch.
Now I'm not.
Great pitch there from Trzynski. Just
Breaking,
gets Cameron. Yeah, just gets Cameron swinging at a pitch, maybe even guessing on the outside edge there. Came in about 88K, so wasn't the slow change up, but it was still off pace and it was good enough to beat the bat. So great battle from the two Aussie squad members. Speaking of Aussie squads, who's in the stand tonight? Have you seen who's in the stand tonight, mate? Lang Harrow, Travelodge Aussie Spirit head coach.
Oh, he is he? I haven't even, he hasn't even made his presence known. He's a very shy man.
We will speak about Lang maybe a little bit later when we start talking fully loaded softball. So Belinda White is the hitter. Surprised with 2 out that you're not putting Travelodge Aussie Spirit Vice Captain Belinda White on?
Well, it's a bit early, but I would have had Maddie got on the first. But I think go with her. Go with this.
But then again, you've got Pippa Atkins, who's up to bat next.
The problem is with Belle, she hits a long fly ball. This runner's just going to walk home from there at second. It's a long way to throw the ball into this wind from out deep.
Falcons had a 7-0 win over Seacombe last night, and I saw Belinda White poleaxe one out to right field, a deep fly ball for a sacrifice fly. So Trzynski was happy with that pitch there. She was halfway to the dugout, maybe a little low.
Yeah, looked a bit of a breaker too.
That's called on you or me every day, Mark.
I would have swung at that 3 times over, and if I didn't, you can bet your bottom dollar Mike Mandel or Damien would have hosed me on that.
Well, Trzynski still ahead of the count on ball 2 strikes. Good stop from Faith Picard. Wasn't really a block. It was got the glove to it pretty comfortably in the end because it bounced just before the plate. So just a little uncharacteristic from Trzynski there, but she's ahead of the count, so no damage done there.
Well, both teams have got to settle in. They've had that innings to sort of settle in and have a bit of a look. It'll be innings 2.
High for ball 3, so we'll go to a full count. And sorry, Mark.
No, I was just going to say we're all three of us are sitting here nice and quietly just watching this duel. This is what we love about the game. You've got Trevor Lodge, Aussie Spirit, vice captain Belinda White. You've got Steph Trzynski throwing high 90s. This is a great duel.
We're all fans of the game. We love it. Great piece up the middle. Centre field for West Torrens has got the job. Alicia Marchink, the first run of the season against West Torrens, crosses the plate. Marchink was slow off the mark to come and get that. Maybe she didn't see it off the bat as it just breezed past Steph Trzynski's ear. Let's watch the statewide Super replay. Did it get a glove to it?
No, I can tell you I'm very, very glad that Steph Trzynski saw it, because she would end up with a 2-foot hole in her if that would have hit her, because that was going like a rocket. And she got every piece of that, Belle White.
And that's the trouble when you face a batter like Bell in that situation, a runner at second. The runner's always going to score, especially a person like Ada, because of the outfield being so deep.
And that brings up the first run against West Torrens this year. And what a way to bring it up too. That was a fantastic hit.
RBI single, smashed up the middle, and well, you can live with hindsight all you like, can't you, Lee? But it's already gone now, so no point talking about that. We mentioned perhaps putting her on.
But like I said, you got Pippa Atkins up the bat, so let's just see what happens with Pippa, because if she gets on and brings a run home, we might be looking at the wrong choice again.
I think against Walker, she hit a triple from memory, and it was a terrific shot. That's because the pitcher gave her room to swing, just crowd her up.
Well, we won't say she's living in the shadow of the two Aussies. Stolen base attempt, Faith Picard with a good throw. Gee, Belinda White got a great jump there.
Good jump.
And slides safely headfirst into second base. And now another runner in scoring position for the Falcons. We're just saying about Pippa Atkins. She's not that she's living in the shadow of the senior Aussie Spirit players in this team, because she was a junior Spirit player herself earlier this year in Irvine, California for the Aussie team, and she's in the Stars team as well. She's a great young player, Pippa Atkins, and she will feature no doubt in the fully loaded competition starting tomorrow night right here, Spacequake Sports, starting at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Can't wait for that action.
I am very excited.
2 balls, 2 strikes, bottom of the first, and the Falcons got on the board as she watches this one through for a 3rd strike. So Steph Trzynski gets out of the innings with a strikeout. The first of the game for her, second for the inning for her, and Sturt Falcons have done the damage though. They got the first run on the board, and they will lead after 1 inning, 1 run to 0. Well, guys, it's happened. It's finally happened. West Torrens have given up a run, and if this is going to be a first, a night of first maybe, or a night of action. Let's hope for a night of action, because plenty of ball to be played in an hour and a half, and let's hope that it's a high scoring game, because this year the runs for and against just is unbelievable. The defense for these teams so far this year have been great. We might get back to that in a moment, so let's check in with social media now. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube, and so we just want to say thanks to everyone who's watching at home. I can see Georgia Hood's watching from Mount Gambier. Hello to Georgia as well. As from the Netherlands, we can see that Sandana de Grief is watching from the Netherlands, and Tyson Rowling, a former Softball SA employee. So say good day, tell us who you're cheering for. Don't forget to comment, share and like our page, and we'll get to you in between the innings breaks. Now back to the action, and we do have Melissa de Grief from the Netherlands. She's over in Australia visiting and played in DSS, so she's got a teammate in West Torrens and Sturt Falcons. She's actually living with Belinda White this year, playing with Steph Trzynski, so hi to the DSS family. Norman Amos in the Netherlands.
Tell me a little bit about her, James. Batting style, have you heard much about her? She looks the goods in the box, taking a couple.
Well, she's getting an opportunity in the A grade. Perhaps club wanted to see her in action first, so she played a bit of B grade, and they don't have a B grade pitcher, West Torrens, and so she just said, well, I don't pitch, but I'll give it a crack. And so she started out her West Torrens career as a B grade pitcher. Lee, have you seen much of her?
I saw her in the game against Walkerville B grade Saturday, and she really gave it a crack, but not as big a crack as the Walkerville batters did, because they were belting some long balls. It was on diamond 3, but she did her best. You know, that's all you can ask of, can't you, of a pitcher? You're not going to blow them away, just hopefully they hit the ball to your field.
Full count now for Melissa.
Just after this pitch, we'll have a bit of something's going to happen here. We're either going to get a foul or we're going to get a walk. And I just want to quickly go back to what you were talking about, the runs there for a second.
Gets after this one, fouling it off, and maybe a little high as well, but was good enough to stay alive in the count. It's full.
Well, you don't mind that if they're close enough to sort of have a go. If they're within the zone, you kill it off and just wait for that next one. But if you go after something ugly and it's not team batting, is it?
No, this certainly isn't.
Great pitch, Sally Adams. Down ball coming in about 90 k's an hour, and it broke right when it needed to. And the ball just deviated away from the bat for a strikeout for Zali Adams. So 1 up and 1 down here in the top of the second innings. And Steph Drzezinski playing a bit of gardening out there by the looks of things.
Talking about, living in the shadows or anything like that. I'm not saying that now, but you've got someone like Zali Adams, over the last 12 months has just good pitch, great pitch, has just blossomed into a very, very good pitcher and a very nice young lady. She's got Belle White, Maddie Cameron, Pippa Atkins, all these
Sarah
players,
Tonkin.
Sarah Tonkin, all these players
Ada
that are developing
Carolina.
around her. It's just going to lift her up, isn't it? And that's what a team spirit's all about. Steph Drzezinski thought that was a little inside. So did plate umpire Damien McCauley.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count. Change up that floats its way in there, 70 k's an hour.
She threw a few of those against Walkerville, which helped them in the win. And that's just Steph just shouldered arms.
You can't do anything about it.
It was great camera work from Spacequake Sports. We'll talk through this pitch as Steph gets underneath it, and Rachel Tonkin didn't look comfortable to start with, but took it comfortably in the end for the second out. I was just going to say the great work, camera work from the Spacequake Sports crew. Got a close-up of Zali Adams after that change-up, had a bit of a wry smile, and then the camera on the opposite angle was in on the hitter, Steph Drzezinski, who's also a pitcher, had the same smile. I think a little bit of pride there from Drzezinski, as we've had a bit of a master and apprentice battle there, as Steph Drzezinski will be one of the assistant coaches of the under-18 women's team this national championships, which Zali, of course, will be the spearhead pitcher leading SA. All right, Alicia Marchenk. 1 strike, the count. High for a ball now. With loaded bases last inning and a quick 3-out inning, you would say Falcons would have not only arrested but stole the momentum and are now running away with it after scoring 1 run in the bottom of the first.
You're 100% correct. You've got West Torrens that come out, get loaded bags. They end up rolling a double, come out, score the first run off them for the season. And now they've held them first up, K2, fly 4.
A long way to go though, chaps.
Great piece of the ball, and just out of reach of Rachel Tonkin. I've done that twice now this game. Rachel Tonkin just needed half an inch longer on that glove, and Alicia Marchant gets on base. So 2-out base runner for the Eagles, and we're going to go to the 9 hitter in Jackie Beale. She'll go from the left-handed batter's box. So it's just something a little bit different for the Eagles to have a lefty in the lineup, the only one in the team.
And this is where teams get dangerous as well. We always talk about the 7, 8, 9 batters. In today's game, or the quality that's coming through in the A grade, it doesn't really matter where you're situated. If everyone can bat, can't they? And this is a perfect example where anything could happen. You've got Alicia Marchant that just popped one out to right field there, just off the glove from Rachel Tonkin, and then
This ball just goes foul.
Tell me, is Jackie Beale a left-hand running bunt? Is she a Pippa? Because that's how Pippa Atkins started out, sort of slapping and running. Like, what's her?
Jackie started in the right-handed box, and over the last couple of years developed her left-handed batting, and she played in the SA Under-23s team earlier this year. Swing and a miss for strike 2. And she'll also play for the MC Sportswear Thunder in the fully loaded softball competition starting tomorrow night right here, 7 p.m. on Spacequake Sports. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Good piece of the ball, just fouls and chops it foul. Let's have a look at the Sturt defence. I'd say that Ada Caruana is playing a bit regulation right field, but Maddie Cameron almost looks like she's about to step on the dirt.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't think they would expect Jackie to go deep here. She might just chip one over into left field, short.
Great pitch, Ali Adams, change of pace, and just clips the outside edge as she saw that Jackie Beale was pulling towards first base a little bit, and what an exceptional innings from that young pitcher, Zali Adams. So Sturt Falcons lead after 1.5 innings, 1 run to 0.
Just going back to what you were saying, James, quickly, sorry, mate. We were just talking about the runs against and the scores this year. You look at Seacombe, who are sitting on the bottom of the ladder, but they've only had 18 runs against. So, but then you've got the Hills Heat, who have had 28 against, but they've got the win. And then you go 6-8, 6-3 and 0 on the way up. So that's not too bad. 18 runs against in 5 games. You know, average around 3. You might have a blowout. That's a pretty effective defence. They just need their attacking, their offence a little bit more aggressive, I think, Seacombe, and they'll work their way up the ladder. But each team is working on that, and their defence is quite good.
Great point, Mark, and thank you for making it. Well, just in between the innings break, we try to catch up with social media, so don't forget to say hi, and we'll try and say g'day if Mark's not talking too much. But we just want to thank our broadcast partners, Bob Burns Blinds, MC Sportswear, Statewide, Super, CBS and MindLab. Without your support, we can't bring you this terrific broadcast, and I might even be able to mention NITV and Channel 44 next inning break. But let's get back to the action. Steph Trzynski pitching to Rachel Tonkin.
And the Falcons, they bat a long way down in their order. So Rachel capable of getting nice hits, sometimes doubles. And then it's Jessie Keach, Jordan Lee, and then the pitcher, Zali Adams, who's batting for herself.
Don't go quiet now, Mark.
No, I'm going shy. That's it. I've thrown my pen.
You mean my pen, don't you?
Great piece of the ball, Rachel Tonkin, deep to centre field, and Alicia Marchenk goes back with the flighted ball and takes a very good catch. So that's very good defence from Marchenk. Eagles needed that one to settle a little bit, you'd say.
Look, she's having a bit of a wry smile there, Marchenk. Had her eye on it, followed it all the way through and looked quite comfortable in the end. That's the one they needed to set the settler.
Trzynski into her motion, dealing 97 Ks to Jessie Keach. Another one of our young state representatives in the under-18 side.
Can hit a long ball, Jessie.
Right up the front of the box against Steph Trzynski as well to try and take away any of the movement. Who grounds out back to Trzynski for the second out. So a cheap out for West Torrens, and that's 2 gone now, and now the game's ticking along a little bit. You mentioned before about who's going to settle first, but perhaps it was a little bit of the tension was in the defence rather than with the offensive players, which we've seen it the opposite way around so far this season. You made a great point in the inning break there, Mark, where the runs against so far has probably been the highlight of the season so far. Not too many games with high scores, so let's see who will now take some momentum, get some runners on, move them around, because they're going to be at a premium from now, looking at the way that both sides are holding up defensively.
Well, you can't look at not look at Sturt with 19 runs for. They're swinging the bat, and they're what's one outside at 96 k's an hour. They're swinging the bat, so I'm backing Sturt to get a couple more runs. He's got 19 and 3 against. West Torrens have got 9-4. They will be looking to score a couple. Lee, your 3-2 scoreline is looking good, but I think it might be the other way around.
Well, it's a long way to go yet, mate. That's all I can say. Because I'm restricted by the lack of runs at the moment.
Jordan Lee, it is the batter who will be playing for the Vespers, Scoots Cafe West Beach Vespers, one of our 3 franchisees for the fully loaded competition starting tomorrow night, 7 p.m, right here on Spacequake Sports.
Another consistent player for the Falcons, Geordie.
Foul tip.
Well, we're back. Well, we're getting to the end of the lineup here for the Falcons. It's Adams on deck. So the 8-hitter for the Falcons, Jordan Lee, has been a good contributor, but this time goes down swinging on strikes, and after 2 complete innings, we have 1-0 in favour of the Falcons. All right, guys, plenty to catch up on in social media. We can see Travelodge Aussie Spirit pitcher, Kaya Parnaby's watching. She's one of our regular viewers. Jared Farrell, a Aussie Steelers player who won a silver medal at World Championships. Aaron Cockman, of course, a world champion in 2009. So much talent watching from home. Well, Matt Torpy, the talent's dropped there a little bit. As we go through and we can see, have a look at this champion right here, Scott Watson.
Scott Watson, hello. Thanks for watching.
He's a very good man. Lee Caruana, speaking of good men. Kathy Lambert, part of the commentary team watching from the Barossa Valley. No doubt a glass of red as well. So a couple of comments on the commentary itself. The best comment coming from Matt Panteri.
Yeah, speaking of low talent, or that's Matt Panteri at his best. Former under-21 Victorian captain. Hell of a nice guy. Very annoying.
Thanks to everyone who is watching from home with your comments. We will get back to the action now with West Torrens lead-off hitter, Travelodge Aussie Spirit team representative, Jordan Lambert up to bat. She's marquee player for the Nan Angels in the fully loaded competition. Can you tell us anything about the Nan Angels, Mark?
I certainly can. What a fantastic franchise that is, and we're very, very excited to have Jordan Lambert on board as part of the inaugural fully loaded Nan Angels women's team. As she watches this one through, the Nan Angels were formed in 2015, joined or partially put together for the Australian Masters, and subsequently have won the gold medal that year, travelled off in 2017 to New Zealand, won a silver medal as Jordan Lambert watches this for ball 2, won a silver medal at the Worlds against Scott Watson actually. We were lucky enough to win, I think it's the Adelaide Masters or whatever it was.
Australian Masters
Games. We came silver medal this year. Lost to a very, very good batting side from Western Australia. And President Dan Waters and I were speaking about how we can expand the franchise, and there was an opportunity to come on board with the fully loaded. We jumped on board and said, let's do it. So we grabbed the franchise and said, let's do it. We want to bring softball back to the community. And everybody, including every player for the men's Masters Nan Angels team, is behind this. And I should see a contingent. We should see a few of the boys, a bit of a contingent down here tomorrow to support the girls.
Absolutely awesome, Mark, and well done to the Nan Angels for getting on board here as we see Jordan Lambert get to a full count against Zali Adams, and she fouls this one off. And just one of 3 teams franchised out for the fully loaded competition. The other 2 teams, MC Sportswear Thunder and the Scoots Cafe West Beach Vespers.
Well, MC Sportswear is a huge supporter of softball, South Australia.
Jordan Lambert gets a piece of this ball out to right field. Ada Caruana gets out there and underneath it.
Well, she's dropped it.
Just gets away from her, and Lambert will take full advantage of that, taking off to second base. So West Torrens lead off in the third innings will stand up safely at second base. Let's watch the replay thanks to Statewide Super, and just went for the bucket catch rather than having the glove up there. Ada Caruana, and she doesn't make many mistakes, Ada.
It's a pressure game, and defense is where we said it will win or lose it here, because both teams can bat, and that may be one that evens it up.
Well, this could be the start of a run here, I think, for West Torrens.
Good part of the lineup for the Eagles. Faith Picard up to bat. She had a ground out her first turn, advancing Jordan to second base. Bunted Tam. Gee, the wind has picked up a little bit here. A bit of a windy night. Might not be able to notice too much, but it is a fair bit of breeze out here tonight at West Beach. And I just saw a puff of dirt there as Maddie Cameron was about to back up a throw, but she took her eye off to cover her eyes from the dirt. Faith Picard pulls this one up the middle. Not the middle, the 5-6 hole.
Good coaching there from Andrew Scott. Didn't send Geordie.
Well, we have difference of opinion there, because Jordan, in my opinion, was in full stride. As we watch the Spacewake Sports replay, she's in motion and she's going, and then the throw just hit, I don't know, the cut-off. I reckon she would have got there, but we'll never know.
We'll never know. But,
the replay shows that Lambert was held up from Coach Scott, and the relay throw just got away from third base player Jesse Keach, but Jordan Lee, fantastic effort out in left field. She'll be playing for the Scoots Cafe West Beach Vespers, and the coffee tonight was from Scoots Cafe as well, I believe, Mark. So
beautiful.
Thanks for stopping off there to bring the coffee, and Lee,
the tea.
Lee had a tea, yeah. Lana Kaiser now up to bat, runners in the corners.
This is the innings, I'm telling you, Mark.
What are you saying, guys? Do you reckon that Faith will go to second here, unopposed? Well, she took off on the pitch. Kaiser had a cut at the ball, and this one goes foul. Now, that breeze probably brought it back into the field of play. Still in foul territory, but inside the fence line. So maybe a missed opportunity from the Falcons there.
He's not bad. He drew on all of experience there. We've got Jordan Lambert at third, Faith Picard at first. You've got Lana Kaiser, Sophie Hoyle, and Kelsey Nucky up the bat. I think they might score as well, mate.
Great piece of the ball, Lana Kaiser. This one is drilled all the way to the left field fence. Jordan Lambert scores, Faith Picard scores, and Kaiser at full speed dives into third. Umpire Neville Lawrence with the obstruction, and Kaiser has to stay at third. The statewide super replay will show Jordan Lee chasing the ball down to the fence.
And she chased it well too, but what was more impressive was Lana Kaiser rounding second base and did not take a foot off the gas. Slid from about 7 foot out, made it comfortably, and then saw the ball overthrow and thought, I could go home here. But they were held up by Coach Scott very, very wisely. Lee.
I'd like to take you back to the statement you made that said that Sturt were on fire.
Lee, look at the lineup. You had a runner at first and third, as if this team wasn't going to let you down.
This one's away from the catcher. Kaiser takes off. Seeing that Sarah Tonkin had a little bit of trouble catching sight of where that ball went, and the third run of the inning scores.
Well, Lana Kaiser still on a high from that hit, and so she should be. The uniform's already dirty. Why not keep going? And took that home nicely.
Didn't she get a smashing piece of that ball as well? All the way to the fence, and scored 2 RBIs, and the adrenaline must have still been pumping, and scored on that pass ball. Sophie Oil.
I'm thinking right about now, poor Zali's thinking this was a bad move bringing Lana down.
Well, Zali was holding him for 2 innings, held him very, very well. We had the furthest they got was third base, and that was the lead-off Jordan Lambert in the first innings. That's as far as they got, and she shut him down 5-3, a couple of base on balls, 1-2, K2, a fly, and a K2 and a single to 9. But she was holding him quite well, and then you get Jordan Lambert, Faith Picard, and Lana Kaiser that's sort of just broken the back there.
Lee, did you say that Sturt only have 1 bench player?
Yes, as far as I know, that's all I've been given.
So who'll be warming up the pitcher in the bullpen?
Assistant coach Michelle Bonner, probably.
Well, we may see Falcons go to their bench. Millie pitched in the game last night, the 7-0 win against Seacombe. So we may see her come back and pitch tonight as Sophie Hall gets a piece of this one, but gets underneath it. Oh, there's a bit of confusion there from first and second base players, Atkins and Tonkin, but they talked it out and took it over.
Well, that's the second time tonight that Pippa Atkins and Rachel Tonkin have sort of clashed or come together or left it for each other. They've just got to get that right. If they want to hold this defence down, they need to really, really start talking out there. I think they play together there. That's their regular spots, isn't it?
Yeah, what would have came into the equation is the breeze. You might not tell, but the wind is blowing pretty hard here tonight. The paperwork's going everywhere. There's a bit of dust blowing, and if you can see in the background in the dark here, the trees are blowing pretty heavily as well. But that ball would have started on the right field or the first base foul line, and the breeze just brought it all the way back into play. As we can see, second base, Rachel Tonkin just ducking away from the swirling breeze here in the infield. Kelsey Nucky swing and a miss. And that's where the confusion would have came from. But good communication from Rachel Tonkin, calling out Pippa Atkins for the first out of the inning, and that will hopefully settle the Falcons a little bit this inning.
Pippa Atkins, one of the inaugural Man Angels
women's players
for the fully loaded competition tomorrow, which starts at 7 o'clock. Space Quake Sports.
Opening game against MC Sportswear Thunder and the Scoots Cafe West Beach Vespers. Saw the uniforms posted on the social media pages this afternoon. They look terrific. Kelsey Nucky grounds this out to shortstop. Linda White's got a good arm, fields it and fires it across for the out. There's 2 out in the inning and nearly had enough. Well, nearly not enough on it for to get safe, but Belinda White with that rocket arm.
Not only the arm, but have a look at the replay as she picks it up, smooth as silk, picks it up and lasers one across the first base. 601 games of experience there.
They played last night as well.
602.
Fouling this one off is Melissa de Grief.
Attempted running bunt, surprise bunt, unsuccessful.
Eagles are up 3 runs to 1 as this breeze is starting to pick up the dirt in the infield. Change of pace, and
a great pitch, that one.
De Grief swings at that one, and you heard her groan before the ball even got to the plate.
It was a very good pitch, 74 k's an hour, sort of just died in the end.
Another change up. Well, it worked the one before, so why not throw it again? And after the third inning, the top of the third inning, West Torrens managed to put 3 runs on the board, so we'll get that score check correct. It's 3 runs to 1 in favour of the West Torrens Eagles, but Sturt Falcons get an opportunity to respond in the bottom half. Well, guys, it's absolutely fantastic to bring you this live coverage. We're in the 4th year of the Spacequake Sports coverage. They bring you all the live streaming, the highlights and the big plays throughout the week, live on Facebook, YouTube, and of course you can catch us on Instagram as well. If not, how about this? NITV are returning this year on Sunday, November 17th from 12:30 p.m. on Channel 34. However, viewers on Fox 144 and Freeview app can see the coverage 90 minutes earlier on Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. All very special thanks to Softball SA and Spacequake Sports. Well, how about that? NITV back for a 2nd year.
Oh, it's very exciting. This is the best coverage of softball, I believe, in Australia. We've got some very experienced, Lee, if you don't mind me saying, commentators. Some that talk too much, some that don't talk enough.
And then there's me.
Well, guys, we will get back to our social media pages in the next inning break, but haven't we got some great action right here? We've seen the Sturt Falcons put the first run on the board for the season against the West Torrens Eagles, and then we saw a response. 3 runs in 1 inning. They also threatened in the first with with loaded bases. Loaded bases is how we'll start fully loaded softball starting tomorrow night. Every innings of fully loaded softball starts with loaded bases.
So would that be the 7, 8, 9 start 1, 2, 3? Is that how it's going to work, or like? to
Yeah,
the
that's
layman.
right. In the 7, 8, 9 batters in the lineup for that innings will start on first, second and third base. And, well, we saw this Summer Slam action that Softball Australia brought us earlier this year, and the lead-off batter for the whole competition was Stacey Porter, Travelodge Aussie Spirit captain. She hit a grand slam. First turn at bat.
Yeah, it's a good way to start your fully loaded or Summer Slam career, isn't it?
I'm not surprised.
That was against
The
Kai
hitter.
Parnaby as well. Absolutely highest quality pitcher in the world, and or one of. And but she had the last laugh. The Fury won the inaugural Summer Slam, and Travelodge Aussie Spirit Vice Captain Belinda White was the walk-off home run that won that game, won the tournament. So, I can't wait for the action tomorrow night. It's going to be so good.
Very exciting, and congratulations to Softball SA and all the associated partners that have gotten behind this. This will be very, very good, not only for softball in South Australia, but the up-and-coming young girls can come out and watch an exciting brand of softball. The ones that are playing now, they've got something to aspire to, especially with the SummerSlam continuing on.
Yep. Ada Caruana, we go back to the top of the order for the Sturt Falcons. A running bunt attempt. Good play and good defense from the Eagles. Steph Trzynski takes the ball on the run, making that throw. Sophie Hoyle covering second, and gee, she did very well. They're very agile to take that one, because Caruana has got that ability to put that ball into play anywhere, up the middle, right side or left side. So good play.
100%, and she's as quick as lightning as well. So very good play there by West Torrens. I think have they regained control again, Lee? Look, the pendulum's swinging, isn't it?
I think so. James talked about that by Sophie Hall. That wasn't easy to take that ball from that angle. But no, and now Steph Trzynski's back in the groove, isn't she, really? You know, you've got 3 runs up your sleeve, backing you up. That's when the real good pitchers just put the foot down.
Well, here's something to throw in the mix. Here comes the rain. Light rain is falling here as Sarah Tonkin fouls that one off, just out of reach of the catcher and third base players for the Eagles. Now, this might settle the dust a little bit, but it's not going to help the teams as they battle the elements here. It is windy tonight. The rain is starting to fall as West Torrens lead this 3 runs to 1 in the bottom of the third. Still have about 35 to 40 minutes left to play in the game, and we watch that countdown clock in the bottom left-hand side of the screen. The winner of this match goes to top of the ladder.
Got Maddie Cameron on deck. 2 outs. We'll be looking to have a swing here to try and even up the punches. Oh, great pitch, Steph, great pitch. Took a little bit off it, just dipped away. She was quite comfortable with that. That's not a bad little combination, Steph Trzynski and Faith Picard. They're working well together.
Yeah, another strikeout as well. Might get a strikeout count in a moment from Lee Hull, but at the end of 3 complete innings, it is West Torrens leading the Sturt Falcons 3 runs to 1.
5 to Steph and 3 to Zali.
Well, there you go. So that's the strikeout count for the night. Now, we were speaking before the game, or at the top part of the game, that both these teams are sitting very nicely at the top of the table. No losses between the 2 of them, and it has been the defense of this competition that is the difference so far this year. The strongest teams have hardly given up any runs. West Torrens had none against at the start of this game, and Sturt Falcons had 3, and that all came in 1 innings against Walkerville Cats. So it's good to see some runs on the board. On screen there is Travelodge Aussie Spirit Vice Captain Belinda White playing shortstop. Let's go have a look around the social media pages. Of course, you can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course the Twitter as well. So thanks to everyone who's watching at home. Yes, we got the score right in the end there. It's 3 runs to 1, and Troy Burzell, who commentated for us in the men's grand final of the Australian Masters Games, watching from Queensland, said, we all know who's walking home tonight now, and just referring to Lana Kaiser smashing that ball to left field to bring in the 2 RBIs, and then she scored the next pitch to go ahead, 3 runs to 1.
Well, they're definitely going to have something to chat about, aren't they? I think maybe If it pays for petrol on the way home, it might even it up.
All right, well, we will get back to the
Or
social
not.
medias as we see pitcher versus pitcher duel now at the moment. Steph Drzezinski up to bat now for West Torrens Eagles. Very capable player and batter, but also best known for her pitching. She just needs to settle a little bit in the box there. Has a wild swing at that one.
Well, Steph Drzezinski fly to second base and had a bit of a chuckle, I think we said, her last at bat. She'd be happy to see Zali throwing well, being the coach. She's given that a ride and,
It gets through the legs of Jordan Lee. This one's going to the fence and Steph Drzezinski will turn second. But Coach Scott knows to keep a pitcher safely on second base and in scoring position. A leadoff double for Steph Drzezinski. Let's have a look at the statewide super replay. The ball getting through the legs of Lee. Maddie Cameron having to do the backup.
well,
Bell White cutting it off.
Jordan Lee did very, very well to get across there, to be honest with you, because that came out like a laser and it just tailed off with this little bit of wind at the end there and kind of just got underneath Jordan Lee's glove. So a bit of hard luck there, but that's how it goes. Oh,
Bit high and
Marching.
unorthodox from Marching, but keeps it away from any of the fielders, so she will get another try to try and advance Steph Drzezinski from second base to third as the rain has eased a little. The breeze is still as strong as what it was, and two great teams battling it out. Marching swing and fouling it off. She looks a little unorthodox, but it works for her, doesn't it? She's featured a few times here on Spacequake Sports and was one of a couple of batters to get on safely against Zoe Conley from the Glenelg Rebels last night.
we'll be looking for something low or a change up here, I reckon, because she's chased the last two high with a bit of speed on them. Heading outside, setting up outside.
Change of pace.
It was low, change of pace at 68 or give or take, and
well, Marchek still behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Piece of the ball to advance. Drzezinski goes right side and Drzezinski takes off on the hit. Good fielding from Rachel Tonkin. She did check the runner, but she was already on her bike towards third base, always going to be safe. And Alicia Marcheng is the first out of the innings as we see on the statewide super replay. It is Steph Drzezinski who stands up safely on second base, and she's now on third after Alicia Marcheng, and West Torrens going to their bench. It is Brody Borovnik, number 22, coming in for a pinch hit, and didn't she feature in the final series last year?
she did quite well, James. Just going back to that last at bat, sorry, that was exactly what you want. That was a well-executed hit behind the runner, advanced the runner to third. You got one down, you got 2 opportunities to score. The runner from third now.
Oh, you know, not surprised about Brody coming in, but I was thinking that if Jackie Beale had got on, then I would have brought her in with the 2 on. But Steph's at third, so here's a free hit here for Brody.
Would you have brought in a pinch runner for your pitcher?
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the bench and see who can run in that lot. No Amy Wheeler, so Mary Fuss is not that slow. Riley Benedictson or Ella White. No, I think I'd leave it status quo.
Brody Borovnik watching the change-up. 0-2 count. She fouled the first one off. Great pitch and a good piece of the ball from Brody Borovnik out to right field. Ada Brinketree takes a good catch. And Drzezinski, the pitcher, they played safe than sorry, whereas a junior or a faster runner may have tried to take off on the catch, as we perhaps see an opportunity slip there for the West Torrens Eagles now with 2 out. However, we go to the top of the order for Jordan Lambert.
Yes, it just didn't go long enough, did it?
Well, give credit where credit due. Ada Caruana came in on that and relayed that very, very quickly to Pippa Atkins, who pivoted on the spot and was ready to make that throw. As Jordan Lambert watches the first one come through, settles the team down. As she was walking out, you could just see her sort of just having a chat to Coach Scott and just putting the hands down. Very composed out there at the moment.
Lambert got on in the first inning for a lead-off single and then got aboard from just a rare mistake from Caruana in the third.
Which was a double in the end there.
2-0 count, so ahead of the count here. Look for Lambert to try and drive this run in, but this one nearly bounces on the plate. So Adams just, you know, maybe just thinking about too much the batter that's in the box at the moment, because she's gone 3-0 now to a dangerous hitter in Jordan Lambert. You give her a green light here, Lee?
I would think so.
HRH.
Ball 4, and West Torrens now have runners at the corners for Faith Picard, so maybe give credit where credit's due here for Coach Morgan Young. Although it wasn't a intentional pass ball, but intentional base on balls, he still threw 4 in a row. Well, Zali still threw 4 in a row, so maybe something coming from the dugout there.
Well, he would have said throw around the zone. Don't give it too close. If we get the call, we get the call. That's one play you don't really want to give too much to.
Catching the outside edge on Faith Picard. We've got 1 strike now. Jordan Lambert on first base, known for her speed. Let's see if Coach Scott sends her
A little bit
2
of
out.
a little bit of respect shown to Sarah Tonkin there by Jordan Lambert too. Just sort of held up twice.
Yeah, it's you play the percentages here. That's why Geordie's just hanging around that base. But I tell you what, if Faith gets on the first, you're walking Lana Kaisley. You're not letting her use the bat at all this innings.
She's on tonight, Lee.
Yeah.
Takes off on the pitch. Faith Picard swings, and it was a good swing.
It was a hit and run on the batter and Geordie, that's all.
She was off quick.
So, yep.
1 ball and 2 strikes now, the count. And, well, I'd be backing Jordan to maybe even getting a rundown play. You know, give the opportunity for the runner on third to try and score on a throw over to second base, but probably not going to risk it with the pitcher. Foul ball as the ball just chops down onto the ground. And
Yeah, she was off on that pitch too, Geordie. So good point, Mark. Correction, James.
I was thinking it.
I just wonder when the national anthem's going to be played, seeing 2 of my fellow commentators are standing to attention.
Well, you know what, Lee? I've got a bit of a sore back, to be honest. Thanks for bringing it to everyone's attention. She gets a hold of that.
But got under it. Maddie Cameron comfortable out there at centre field. Will take a catch there. End the top of the 4th inning, and they've threatened again, haven't they? Loaded bases in the first. They scored 3 in the third, and then 2 runners left on for West Torrens. And Maddie Cameron will come in, and she'll get a turn at bat here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, coming at you right after this short break. All right, guys, we're about 25 minutes to go, 30 minutes to go in this game. We'll try and bring you a score update from the other game as soon as we can, but might be an opportunity to get a quick tip from you to see how the rest of the game might pan out. What are your thoughts, guys?
I'll stick with the 3-2.
Yeah,
West Torrens.
I agree with you, Lee. Always have.
Only took half an innings. The change.
Look, I don't know. 3-2 is still looking like a very, very, very good score. You've got Maddie Cameron, Bell White, Pippa Rackens, the first 3 up. But then when you turn the page and you go back to West Torrens, you've got Lana Kaisley. You've got Lana Kaisley, Sophie Hoyle, and Kelsey Nucky ready to go. So the firepower is there. It could be anybody's game.
Yes, but some of us make decisions and predictions, and others don't. But
Well, this is a comfortable fence I'm sitting on right now.
well, it won't do your back any good.
All right, we are back with the action here. Sturt Falcons versus West Torrens Eagles. We are in the bottom of the 4th inning, about 22 to 27 odd minutes left to go in the game.
She looks fired up, Maddie Cameron, doesn't she?
Well, she's got a job to do now, hasn't she? She's got to get on base for the Falcons. She had a strikeout her first turn at bat, but she didn't look uncomfortable, did she? She had a long turn at bat, a few fouls, and
Her timing was on.
high for a ball, and a change of pace from Trzynski as well, 76 Ks an hour. She's been peppering that 100 Ks an hour just under for the evening. So she may have taken a little bit off here for a bit more control tonight against the undefeated Falcons.
This is the innings that the Falcons are going to go hard.
Piece of the ball is going right side. It's going to go into the gap there. So Maddie Cameron with a single to lead things off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So Maeve got a little bit lucky, but she'll take that, as Jackie Beale was probably fielding a little deeper, giving the maximum respect to Maddie Cameron. Now runner on first, and Belinda White, who drove in that 1 run that West Torrens has given up for the season and for the evening.
Yeah, it's fine to play deep on right field on Maddie, but she's more of a hit up the middle, pull the ball hard.
Big lead off from Cameron, as the West Torrens defence just holding her up there a little bit there. Quality West Torrens defence. So take a brave coach to try to move Cameron around a second here to put her in scoring position for Belinda White, because you probably won't want to waste the bat of Belinda White here with a bundle, though she squares up and Cameron gets a big jump. Pulls out of that one at the right moment for a ball, so 2 balls on the batter.
Is this a ploy from Coach Young to sort of just try and unsettle the West Torrens, because they think it's predictable that Bell White's up, She's now in front of the count. West Torrens are behind in the count. Is this a little bit of a mind game?
Probably is, but you'd give them a base for an out.
Cameron looks set to go. Big jump here. Takes off on the pitcher.
Lana Kaysler, great pickup. And there's a double play.
Well, we mention it every time the Eagles play. Their defense is the best in the business. And let's watch the statewide super replay. An absolutely screaming line drive. Caught pretty comfortably in the end from Lana Kaysler. And because Cameron took off on the pitch, she's hit into a double play. So just like that, the momentum swings, goes back to the West Torrens Eagles.
Yeah, Belinda White just has a bit of a chuckle, because I think she realises that was a fantastic play. Then you can't do anything about it.
See what I mean about giving the left-handers, Adkins and Caruana, room to swing their arms? She'll get one in the play and it'll go over left field's head. The left field's too short for this girl. If they're going to pitch her outside, she'll clear the left fielder.
Just gets away from catcher Picard, but no damage as the runner is no longer aboard.
No. And that's what happens when you're in the driving seat, isn't it? Little things like that happen. Ball gets away from the catcher, nobody on.
So just going back before, I'm still thinking a 3-1 score.
High for a ball. Not bad from Pippa Adkins there, able to stay off of that one and gets herself into a good hitting count.
Is that any relation to your 1-0 Sturt for all that time? I doubt it.
High for a ball 3, so 3-1 count for Atkins. So she's laying off that Trzynski rise ball and just making her work just that little bit harder. Now, Trzynski, she looked like she's labouring, guys. She threw 90 minutes against Glenelg last night in that 0-0 draw. I think she had over a dozen strikeouts as well to go along with that shutout, and a no-hitter and a walk to Adkins. So a little bit of life still left in the Falcons as their number 5 hitter gets aboard from a walk.
That was 98 k's an hour. I wouldn't say that she's labouring with her speed, but it's just her accuracy that sort of let her down the last couple. But in her defence, this wind is still swirling around. And I go back to when Maddie Cameron took that catch in the last innings. Credit where credit's due, because that ball, she made it look very easy, but that ball was moving around a hell of a lot.
Great pitch from Trzynski, just jamming up Tonkin there on the inside. Rachel Tonkin up to bat now. Absolutely full credit to all these players. We're giving everyone credit, plenty of credit tonight. These are the top 2 teams, and Trzynski is the ace for the West Torrens Eagles. Only given up the 1 run so far in the year and less than a handful of hits as well. Has been absolutely dominant this year. So to me, to be critical of her just a moment ago was only to say that they played last night. They're playing again tonight, so 2 nights in a row. They've played a catch-up game last night, and she's going to play tomorrow night as well, featuring for the MC Sportswear Thunder.
It's a big roster for her, but she's quite capable. I agree with you. I think she's capable. She's held this big batting lineup for Sturt to 1 run. She's doing a fantastic job, and
she's held the whole competition to 1 run, Mark. She's the 6th game of the season. piece of the ball from Rachel Tonkin. It's going to travel out to left field, and this breeze will let it carry a little bit more. Melissa de Grief takes a good catch out at left field to end the 4th inning of the Sturt Falcons. So getting the Eagles out of that was terrific defensive play, as we saw a line drive catch from Lana Kayser, then firing across the first for a double play, and that was the highlight of the inning for me, as we then saw Pippa Atkins get a walk. But that's all there was for the Falcons in the bottom of the 4th inning, and the West Torrens Eagles leading 3 runs to 1. Well, guys, what a fantastic season of softball we've seen so far, and the score, guys, in some of these games that we've seen played this year, we've seen almost, I'd say, a record number of shutouts. The highest score of the year was a 10-run-0 win from Walkerville over the Hills Heat, and then the next highest score actually came in last night's makeup game. Sturt defeated Seacombe 7-0, Port defeating Hills 7-1. Other than that, no side had really gone away from any of the opposition teams, and so the defence for this entire competition has been a highlight for mine, and now I'm just looking forward to seeing some bats heat up, and hopefully we can see plenty of that action tomorrow night as we start fully loaded softball. So change in the defence for the Sturt Falcons. We see Millie Fidge come in to pitch for the Falcons, and guys, we've seen West Torrens threatening in 3 of the 4th innings against Zali Adams. They only managed 3 runs. They all came in 1 inning, and now Millie Fidge it is for the Falcons. Good move, guys.
They needed to try something, didn't they, Lee? I mean, you got Lana Kayser, who's just walking up there with that bat in hand, going, I'm gonna take control of this game. And they were getting the edge on Zali, but in saying that, Zali threw a fantastic first 3, 2 or 3 innings. So congratulations to her. Lana Kayser sets up here and takes the first one and has a bit of a look. It was straight down the middle.
At 85 Ks.
You wouldn't want to throw too many of those to Lana Kayser's red hot bat tonight.
Change up from Fidge, going straight to the change of pace. So we actually saw that last time we saw Sturt, and that was against Walkerville Cats in their 5-3 upset win. And great piece of the ball here from Lana Kayser. Gets it over the head of Maddie Cameron, turns first, stands at second, and the leadoff aboard again for the Eagles.
Lana Kayser. Well, we just said it, didn't we? You wouldn't want to throw, you've watched a statewide super replay, it goes straight down the middle. Maddie Cameron, a little bit of respect shown there too by Lana Kayser, and just held up quite comfortably at second. You got an arm like Maddie Cameron, you don't really want to test it. And she rounds there and was going to hold up at 2.
Well, Kayser's been on fire tonight, a walk and a couple of screaming shots.
100% on base average, you can't ask for much better than that. What do they do here, Lee? Do they just bat away with a new pitcher coming in, or do they try and drop a bunt down advance Lana Kayser and just get that 4th run home?
I think that she'll just bat.
Yep. Well, Fidge only facing her second batter. She'll still be a little bit fresh and trying to settle into a rhythm, so you take advantage.
This is when you'd expect the Eagles to make her throw some pitches. Don't just go the first pitch you see.
Yeah. Good advice.
Well, Sophie Hoyle had a 4-ball walk her first turn up to bat. She's at 3-0 right now for West Torrens. Millie Fidge will have to dig deep here and find a bit of a groove to get their team back into the game. This one comes in at 90 Ks an hour for strike 1. 3 balls and 1 strike now on Sophie Hoyle. You're giving her a chance now to take that bat off the shoulder and try and unload on one here.
Oh, 100%. This is the time. There we go.
That ball's going long, it's going deep, it's going over! A home run to Hoyle! A 2-run blast from the West Torrens slugger. Sophie Hoyle hits this one, 235 deep.
Well, James, you just said, do you give her the green light? Do you give her the opportunity to take the bat off the shoulder? And didn't she do that, Lee? And Maddie Cameron, as soon as that was pitched, she turned and ran to the fence, but there was no catching that. As we watched the statewide super replay, Maddie didn't take her eye off it. 235 odd
In answer to your question, chaps, about whether we go bunt with this girl, answer was no, and you can see why. Both cracking shots, weren't they?
Well, Sophie Hoyle's one of the biggest hitters in this competition, and she hit a line drive that didn't go 10 foot off the air, and it just kept sailing over the centre field fence.
Well, no one was more surprised than Alana Kaiser taking off from second and rounding third, and then someone told her as she was going, it's over, and she just had a big smile on her face and said, the job's done here. Well, that brings me to the scoreline that I was picking, guys, at 5-1.
Guys, you absolutely love it when you smash the ball and it goes sailing over the left field fence, but there's nothing more satisfying than a home run straight up the centre of the field.
Yep, and when I hit one, I will understand what that feeling's like.
Well, Kelsey Nucky has had 3 infield grounders for the evening, so she won't go home happy tonight. However, her team, the West Torrens Eagles, have taken a stranglehold on this game after that 2-run shot from Sophie Hoyle. 5 runs to 1. We're in the top of the 5th, so Sturt will get the last chance. But they're going to need a big team effort to string some hits together and put some more runs on the board. And
who's Sophie Hoyle playing for tomorrow night?
Well, we know that Sophie Hoyle is a Stars squad member, but can't get the time off work this year, so she's just missed out on selection, so we're hoping that she might get a call up. Is there a spot available, Mark?
The Angels, as Pippa Atkins chases that down, never took her eye off the ball and swirling wind. Look, I think she's been named in the squad for the Nairn Angels if she's available. I'd love to have her.
Well, we might need to get her player manager to speak with the Nairn Angels to see if we can find her a spot.
Well, with a hit like that, and the home run fence is 180 in the fully
loaded softball rules, 180-foot fence. So I think Lana Kaiser's hit would have gone over as well. We would have seen back-to-back home runs.
I can't fit them all in, but I'd happy to take either of them.
Well, we are so excited for fully loaded softball tomorrow night, 7 p.m. right here at Space Creek Sports and Softball SA. Sturt Trzynski, the batter, in the box at the moment, high for a ball, and 1 ball and 2 strikes. So good to see that Millie Fidge has got right back in there. She's got the next 2 batters out and now up in the count against Steph Trzynski. Change up, and she gets her chasing. Well, she could be safe here. Off the base.
She's off the base.
Well, that is a lesson for the juniors out there. If the ball doesn't carry on the full into the catcher's glove, it's not a completed play. This ball bounced before it got to the catcher, and the Falcons defense just took off. Let's watch the statewide super replay as we see that the Sturt Falcons defense was already on to halfway into the dugout, and Steph Trzynski took off on the pitch to arrive safely. Pippa Atkins was guessing for the base because she was one of the players that headed back, and West Torrens now have a runner on first. We do this time see a change, and Steph Trzynski, the pitcher, will be pinch run for Mary Elise Fuss, number 6 for the West Torrens Eagles.
Well, she knew it, Steph, didn't she? That's why she took off quickly.
Yeah, great heads-up play from Steph Trzynski, and you might not see that for another, couple of 100 games, but or more. But you've got to learn the lesson. Sometimes you have to learn it the hard way.
Yeah, and that's what this sport brings to you: surprise after surprise.
Marching behind in the count and able to stay off of that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Countdown clock on 7 minutes. That's for 85 minutes, and the games do go for 90. But we don't start any new innings with less than 5 minutes to go. So you'd suggest that this is the last inning, and Sturt Falcons will be down to their last 3 outs. But they need to get this one. Alicia Marching, 2 balls, 2 strikes now. gets a piece of this. Millie Fidge takes it pretty comfortably and gets it across to Pippa Atkins. So no damage done in the end for the Falcons after perhaps a little bit of a brain fade with that third out. But let's take a break after 4.5 innings. We're in the middle of the 5th now, and Sturt Falcons with the work ahead of them as they trail 5 runs to 1.
What an innings, Lee. That was a fantastic innings, wasn't
Well,
it?
it's shut the gate, hasn't it now, really? You'd think so, Mark.
Well, it was a bit of it's a funny seesawing affair. You know, you say that all the time, and West Torrens just needed that settler after the Sturt got the first run, held them down, and then they just broke free.
Yeah, but now Steph's on fire, isn't she? She's got plenty of runs in the bank. It's downhill all the way now for her, or any pitcher in this position.
G'day to everyone watching at home on Facebook. Well, let's have a look at that replay there as Steph Drzezinski took off because it bounced before the catcher, and she thought, I might get a cheeky little chance here, and off the base. Well, there you go.
Behind the base.
Hello, Simone Thompson, former board director of softball. So AFLW Premiership player Georgia Bevins watching as well. Jason Garner in WA. Scott Watson's made a comment. Our mate Scotty Watson on the Gold Coast, and the Mildura fans are watching, very proud of Sophie Hoyle. So g'day to everyone watching at home. Let's get back to the action. This will be the bottom of the last innings of this top of the table clash between the West Torrens Eagles and Sturt Falcons. Jesse Keach is the batter. Steph Drzezinski is the pitcher, and that one goes through high for ball 1.
Yeah, it's batter 7, 8 and 9. That's just what the Eagles want at this stage.
Low in time, bottom left hand corner of your screen, as Jesse Keats tries to catch the West Torrens defence napping, but you know, it takes a brave coach to test these guys. They are all stars of the game, and former Stars representative Sophie Hoyle at second base, Kelsey Nucky at first, Lana Kaiser at third, and Jordan Lambert at shortstop. Gee, it just runs so deep, this talent of this West Torrens Eagles, and it's no surprise that they will take top of the ladder after tonight. Jordan Lee for the Sturt Falcons, and fouls that 90k an hour pitch. Start, guys, I'll get you to start thinking of your statewide super performance of the evening. And we'll catch up with you on that, so have a think about that. We can see Steph Drzezinski on the mound. She's been able to do the job for the Eagles tonight yet again. Let's not forget that she gave up a run early in the game, but she's come back to shut down the Sturt Falcons, the fast starting Sturt Falcons. And they are now ahead 5 runs to 1, but that's come off the bat of some good hitting from the Eagles and some great defence as well to support her. Jordan Lee just ahead of the count there, 2 balls and 1 strike.
I'm thinking Steph doesn't have to be too fancy here. Just throw strikes. Just get out of there as soon as you can.
We might touch on the other game tonight, Walkerville Cats versus Hills Heat. We do know that Walkerville had a pretty convincing lead as the game progressed there, but we'll try and get a final for you as soon as possible next week. Next Saturday, the game on 2 p.m. on Spacequake Sports. Saturday, we're going to have a look at for the first time, Glenelg Rebels versus Hills Heat. First time we'll see both of those teams for the season. And that is 2 p.m. right here on Spacequake Sports.
And Glenelg Rebels are a different side this year. Completely different team, playing terrific.
Hills Heat featuring the Hood sisters and their new coach starting this year, Scott Humphreys, will be interesting to see if their game style, their game plan and plays are any different. And full count now for Jordan Lee. Payoff pitch, and there'll be a hit, isn't it? Jordan Lee smashes this one to left field. She'll turn first, but holding up as the Sturt Falcons have a little bit of life as we go to the 9-hitter now. Jordan Lee with a single.
Well, for the first time this year, Wowee, Jim. That came off like a rocket. That we were sitting right behind that, and that just cracked off the bat.
Yeah,
and that
beautiful
found the
shot.
gap. Very, very, very good.
Great piece of the ball. West Torrens defence blinked and they missed it, and Melissa de Grief had to do the work at left field. Millie Fidge watches that one through for a called strike.
Is this the 7, 8, 9 lineup that gets you the ball rolling and gets you back on the top of the deck? And this is what we're saying. It's the dangerous part of the innings, or the batting lineup, isn't it?
See where shortstop Jordan Lambert's playing now with a run on first.
Step
Plays
up the
closer
middle.
towards the second base, and that leaves a huge gap there between third and her.
We've got Lana Kaiser out there that can cover some ground. She doesn't mind diving for the ball. I think a couple of years ago she come screaming down for home and got that bunt, which was one of the best plays.
One of the top 10 plays
of the year, the Spacequake top 10. She can cover some ground, but
just gets her hands out of the ball, and just a missed opportunity from Jackie Beale, and gets it across to second base in time for the force out. So she came in running hard, but then just lost the handle of the ball, but was able to recover. Let's have a look at the statewide Super replay, and Millie Fitch got the job done there. Bat to ball, getting the ball into play, but Jordan Lee was left in no man's land.
good pickup by Jordan Lambert there. It's, saved a certain continuous error, maybe, if that's what you want to say. But I think that maybe Jackie just panicked a little bit and just knew that she had to get the ball out there. Calm. That'll come with the season.
No harm done.
No.
Falcons down to their last out as we go to the top of their order with Ada Caruana. Timeout called by Steph Drzezinski to have a word with her catcher Faith Picard. Guys, this might be the last chance of the night to mention tomorrow night. Fully loaded softball action coming to you live thanks to Softball SA and Spacequake Sports. The top players in the state are going to go head to head and battle out as they prepare for national championships. We've got state representatives in 3 franchise teams: the MC Sportswear Thunder, the Scoots Cafe West Beach Vespers, and the MFSA Nan Angels. And guys, I cannot wait for 7 p.m. tomorrow night.
I will be here early, I promise, guys, because I've been waiting for this for a while since we agreed to be a part of this. And
It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? Feels like it, doesn't it? It's been a big build-up.
100%.
Check out the Facebook page and you can have a look at the uniforms proudly provided by MC Sportswear. Guys, I cannot wait. Caruana gets a piece of this ball just over the top of Lana Kaiser. It drops in. There is life here in the Falcons lineup because there are hitters 2, 3 and 4 in the lineup. The best batters in this team will now come up to bat. Runners at first and second. That's Fidge on second, Caruana on first. So there's speed out there as well for Sarah Tonkin now up to bat.
Tonkin, Cameron and White. This could get to the scoreline of 5-3 that I predicted. And
3/4 of the way through the game, I might add.
I think I change every innings. This is exciting. This could level it up here. There
Piece
we
of the ball
go.
from Sarah Tonkin goes out to left field, and a good catch taken by Melissa de Grief for left field. That'll do it in the ball game. And gee, West Torrens got out 5-1 lead, but didn't. Sturt Falcons never say die attitude. They got a couple of runners on base and couple of good hits from Jordan Lee and then from Ada Caruana, but it was great defense by the West Torrens Eagles, and they'll run away victors 5-1. Guys, before we wrap things up, let's have a talk about that. There was plenty to play for tonight. Top of the ladder up for grabs.
Yeah, and I think West Torrens only having 1 run against them for the season so far, with 6 deserve the win. What are they now? 14 runs for, 1 run against. That's a terrific effort to start the season. And what are we talking? 20-8. Well, you know, a cracking match, exactly what we thought it was going to be. It was exciting all the way through. Good batting and very, very good defensive plays from West Torrens. So congratulations to them, Lee.
Well, if you're looking for best players, I don't think you can go past. Well, it's either Steph or it's Lana Kaiser. But look at Lana Kaiser. Comes in cold tonight. Base on balls, a triple, and a double. And she
Yeah.
started it, didn't
No,
she?
I
She really got stuck
100%
in it.
agree with you. The pick of the players for tonight for me is Lana Kayser with 2 red-hot cracks. I know Steph has done a fantastic job throughout the start of the season and tonight, but they get enough credit, don't they? Enough camera time.
Lana turned the tide completely, I thought.
Well,
What about you?
have a look at the demolition duo batting 3 and 4 for the West Torrens Eagles. Lana Kayser and Sophie Hoyle. Hoyle started off her night with a 4-ball walk, but then she hit that absolute towering shot. The first home run of the season that we've seen on Spacequake Sports. And gee, didn't she enjoy it as well? She had a massive smile on the face as she turned second. It was a no-doubter off the bat. And so she has the big play for me of the game. But yeah, Lana Kayser, not only did she contribute with the bat, but she also made that double play right at the right moment as well when Cameron was on base and Belinda White up to bat. She'd already had an RBI single to her name, and she just took the wind out of the Falcons sail. So well done to Lana Kayser. Steph Trzynski just continuing a dominant year, just the 1 run against so far in 6 starts. And if West Torrens can continue that form, they will go a long way in this season. But guys, we have an update. Walkerville did run away winners in that early game tonight, so they'll take second spot on the ladder on 9 points. West Torrens top on 10. Sturt Falcons will be in 3rd place on 8 runs. So well done to our 2 winners tonight. Guys, thank you so much for your company this evening. Lee, we'll miss you tomorrow night. You're going to give the Fully Loaded a miss, but no doubt you'll be watching from home. Mark, we'll see you tomorrow night for Fully Loaded softball action, 7 p.m. right here on Space Creek Sports and Softball SA. Any closing comments, gentlemen?
Great call tonight. It was a fantastic game.
Yeah, it was.
It was the first game that I've witnessed live and called for the season, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks, Lee. Thanks very much, James.
Yeah, thank you, James and Mark.
Well, that'll wrap things up here. Thanks to Spacewake Sports, MC Sportswear, Statewide Super, and Softball SA. And we will see you tomorrow night for the inaugural season of the Fully Loaded Softball. Good night.